Welcome to the best beginner guide for Roblox Rivals. When you first join the game, you'll see these buttons at the bottom of your screen. I'll quickly go over each one. So first, there might be an event icon. This just means that you can spend some in-game currency to buy some cosmetics. Next, we'll go over settings later. Then the pass is just the battle pass for the season. Then there's tasks, where you can get lots of keys and other contracts. Backpack. This just shows if you buy an item, then you can open it here, like these wrap boxes. Then the shop, there's going to be this home screen here with like the main stuff. Most of it is for keys, while some of it is Robux, like the skin cases. There's bundles, then daily shop, keys where you can buy keys, and the limited event ranked. If you click more, then there's codes as well. I would get these, and then there's also like a daily code. Next, the weapons. This is every single weapon in the game. All of these are going to be locked except for the AR, handgun, fists, and grenade. This is called the default loadout, or DL for short. You might see a lot of players using a invisible wrap. That is just for an advantage to see players easier. Skins also do help because it changes what the iron sight is, and it will make it easier to see depending on what skin you're using. There's a bunch of different items, and some are a lot cheaper than others. And also, some have different abilities, which I will go over. But first, I'm going to go over my settings. So I'm going to hop on a brand new account and then copy over my settings so you can see each of my settings, and I'll also show what the setting does. First, turn off the music. Then disable these settings at the top to reduce lag. Then accessible flashes. This just means you won't get completely blinded when flashed. Then adjust volume to your liking. Turn off easy slide and then scroll equip. Change your sensitivity to something you like. Lower your camera zoom effects. This will make it easier to aim. Next, adjust FOV to around 90. You can disable tasks if you would like. And finally, turn on hide muzzle flashes. Now I'll show you my crosshair settings. Just pause the video to copy if you would like. I have some pretty simple changes to my keybinds. The main thing is I have two different slide and crouch keybinds, which is why I turned off easy slide. Alright, as you can see, there's a shooting range over here in the back of spawn. And what you can do here is actually test out any weapon you want. So you can test out these weapons before buying them. So let's say I wanted to try out the paintball gun, the warper, the scythe, and the freeze ray. So now I have them in my inventory. So now you can test out different things. So you got the paintball, get the warper, and then we got the freeze ray. Freeze ray only has one ammo, but you can do some strategies with the freeze ray by using the shorty. It's called Shorty Freeze. So if you use the freeze ray, then double headshot. Alright, now I'm going to go over some movement tips. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to learn when you first join Rivals is how to slide jump. So to do this is press your slide key, and right after pressing it, like maybe a half a second later, you're gonna jump. Okay? If you learn how to do this, and then now combo it while holding W, or moving forward if you're on mobile, then you should be moving around like this. And you can go in any direction as well. So you can just practice for a little bit till you got the hang of it. So once you've got that down, what you can do is use your fists, like with your fists out, and you can just start adding in a double jump. It's okay if it doesn't look exactly like this right away, because it will take some time to get used to. And practice sliding on things. It's really good to get really good at sliding on things really early. So you can slide back and forth on this. And then now the next thing is quick melee. So if I have my gun out and I want to double jump with my fists, which is the perk for the fists, then all I have to do is press F, and you can see I'm punching, and it switches to the bottom right to my fists for a quick second, and during that I can jump, and it will use my double jump. So even if I jump and then quick melee, then I get two jumps without having my fists actually out. So what you want to do is get good at quick melee jumping, and just honestly just spamming quick melee while sliding. Now there's quick melee, but there's also quick utility. So instead of having to press 4 and then holding out your grenade, all you have to do is press G. And it will explode. Alright, knowing that you can now quick melee, I'm going to teach you a very simple grenade jump on the map Arena. So what you want to do right when you spawn in is hold out your grenade, hold left click, and you don't need to slide over, just walk over to the ramp, and you'll blow up like that. Now as you saw, it blew up in my face, and to fix that, all you have to do is slide jump at the very end, and then now it won't blow up in your face. And as you just saw, when you're in the air, you can also quick melee jump to get an extra momentum boost. I will have a more of a intermediate to pro guide in a separate video with more grenade jumps, so make sure you like and subscribe to not miss it. But now we know that, now let's get into some AR tricks. So as you can see, the AR scope is pretty bad and you can't really see much. So make sure that you're not always walking around aiming in. You only want to aim in when you're about to shoot someone. So let's say there's someone right here. What I'm going to do is walk up and I see them and then scope in and then track them. And then make sure you use all of your bullets and then get behind cover and then reload, and then you can re-peek. And you might be wondering how I'm getting so much height right here. All I'm doing is sliding and then jumping against the ramp. It might take a few tries, but if you get it down, it's really good to know early on. Now, just with fists, you're able to double jump, but there are other weapons that also have perks different from the fists. So there's the fists, but then there's also the daggers that also lets you double jump, which means that you can get 3 total jumps with just this loadout. And on this, which is on Arena, so what you can do is have your daggers out, jump, double jump, and then switch to your fists. Next up is the RPG. Alright, so this is the RPG, which allows you to boost forward when slide jumping and then shooting beneath you. And then the energy pistols, which, if you might have noticed, has infinite ammo, but does little damage, so it's based on aim. Then we have the Scythe, where you can right click, and wherever you're aiming is where you'll dash to. And this also works with the quick melee. And early on, what you want to do is try and learn the Scythe last moment, so then your gun comes out quick. And then the Satchel, where you can boost with it by placing it down and then right clicking. You can do it in the air as well, like that. These weapons, so we got the Flamethrower, where it's a regular flamethrower, but if you right click, then you get a little boost, which also moves enemies around. Now the Warper, so when you right click or left click, it places a portal, and then you need to do the opposite left or right click, and then based on how far away you put this away from the first one is how long it'll take to open. Once it makes that noise, you can walk through it, and no one else can go through it, not your teammates, it's only you. And then we got the Warpstone, which is similar to the Warper, but you only get one, and you throw it like an Ender Pearl, and then you teleport to it. Now the Riot Shield, it sits on your back like this, and if you equip it, now it's on your front, so any damage from the front won't affect you. Another weapon is the Katana. So the Katana blocks bullets if you right click for the short animation. You can also quick melee to quick attack, but if you right click with it, then it'll also block bullets. Now the final 2 things I'm gonna go over is the Warhorn, where if you quick utility or just click it, then you will go faster and so will your whole entire team. And then with the grenade launcher, it's similar to the RPG, where you click and then you get launched into the air. I encourage you to go into the training grounds to practice all of these weapons and try and figure out what you want to try and save up for, because some are extremely expensive. I'm gonna quickly go over some weapons that do a bunch of damage. So first off, with the knife, regular left click only does 40 damage, but if you go ahead and right click and get a backstab, it will instant kill. And then the Subspace Tripmine, so this does 149 damage if someone steps on it. And only does damage to your opponents, and just one more bullet and then they're dead. And you get 2 of them as well, so you're able to go up in the sky, as you might see a lot of people do. So there's a bunch of maps here, and the most played ones are Arena, Crossroads, Docks, Splash. So this is Docks, and I'm gonna teach you a simple grenade jump here on this map. So what you want to do, if you're on this side of the map, just go in the boxes here, hold out your grenade, wait for it to come to you and jump, and then you will get launched on the building. And if you pair that with the little quick melee jump with your fist, then you'll slide up it. Alright, so if you're on this side of spawn, then what you can do is hold out your grenade on this railing here, and then do the same thing. A cool thing about this map is that there's windows that you can break by shooting it, or just like hitting it with anything. And the main spots on this map is on top of this blue building here. If you go down here, it's very difficult for people to shoot you. Another thing on this map are these cones, and not to brag, but I was one of the first people to do this, but if you slide jump next to the cone, and you will go up. This is really good to get on top of buildings just by sliding and jumping. Another one is on top of this. So what you do is go on top of this yellow door of the container, and all you have to do is slide towards it and you'll get launched up. Without the cone, you can also get up the white building by just double jumping up. There's also these containers. There's this on construction as well. If you break them, then it'll blow up and you'll take damage. Next map I'll go over is Battleground. This isn't a 1v1 map, but it's one of my favorite maps in the game. So first, I'm going to show you my nade jump. So what you do is, this works on any of the spawns, because this map is identical like Arena, is you come over here and there's this little gap here. So what you can do is throw the grenade against this wall.
I have a new nade jump. You've never seen this nade jump before.
You have a new nade jump? What?
Over here, there's this middle area with a door, and if you actually quick melee or just shoot this, then it will close the door and open it. And this can be really good for taking fights because you can shoot it and then change and reposition. The next map I'm gonna show you is Crossroads. Alright, so this is a pretty big map, and this is the normal size Crossroads. So the first thing is that if you come over here, so if you go on the trampoline, you get launched really high up, and then you can get to high ground up here. But the main problem is this, that you can get beamed out of the air. So a trick is, if you crouch, then you will stop anywhere where you were crouched. So I can stop right here. And it's pretty good to just confuse your enemy by hitting the bounce pad and then just moving away, because then they hear the audio cue, but then you're just not there. Now that we've gone over the complete guide for beginners, before I show you what your first few matches will look like, let me know if you want an intermediate guide or maybe a beginner to pro guide, because I can definitely add on to this so then you can get even better from all of these tips. And yeah, let's go ahead and start my first match. So our first opponent is level 1 mobile player, and they left instantly. Okay. Alright, looks like it's a mobile and controller player, and I have a controller teammate. Hopefully he's pretty good. Game 1. Dead. It's kind of laggy, but it's okay. Teammate has a flare already. I don't think this guy's very new, but I see him. And he's dead. I'm gonna go for a nade here. My teammate left. Oh, he went 75. Nice. Little beam there. And dead. Alright. When you actually play, instead of having first opponent leaving, not too difficult to play against. Especially if you use the tips I showed you. Okay, this guy might be lost. I'm trying to go for a nade here. I missed. Nice. Alright, 3 to 1. I'm gonna go for a nade jump. Might as well. Nice. Alright, let's see if I can beam both of them here. If I can get 75 off of them. Nice. One bullet. Nice. And this one's AFK. GG's. Alright, that was the complete beginner guide for Roblox Rivals. If you want more guides, just comment down below. And like the video so I know that you liked it. And make sure you subscribe, 100k by the end of the year. And yeah, see ya.